Good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining me today on the College Dropout Podcast. I am your host, Sierra, and you are now listening to the College Dropout Podcast, where we inspire, we empower, and we mentor individuals who decide to take the unconventional route in life, which involves dropping out of college or skipping college altogether. Guys, welcome to the show. Once again, this is the College Dropout Podcast. There's no show like this in the podcast world. Welcome. Today is Thoughtful Thursday. If you're new to the show, let me explain to you really quick what Thoughtful Thursday is about. So what happens on Thoughtful Thursday is that I take something that I read, watched, heard, and lately it's been questions that people have even been asking me. I take that information, I dissect it, I bring it to you guys, let you know how I plan to apply it to my life or how I have already applied it to my life. And some of you guys have actually been sending me emails letting me know how these Thoughtful Thursday episodes have been helping you make an impact in your life and in your business. If you would like to email me, the email address is sierra@thecollegedropoutpodcast.com. Don't be shy. Send me an email, sierra@thecollegedropoutpodcast.com. So guys, let's go ahead and get started. Today's Thoughtful Thursday is brought to you by a question. Someone asked me, why do I always say at the end of my episodes, be impactful and be intentional? And it's actually a great question. And I'm surprised that it's taken so long for someone to ask me that. So let me get right into it. So the reason why I say be impactful and specifically be intentional is because I read a book by one of my absolute favorite authors, John Maxwell, and the name of the book was called Intentional Living. It's a book I highly recommend anyone to grab. It's, whether you're successful or if you're already on the road to success, or if you just haven't figured out what it is you want to do or how to get started with anything. So in this book, there's a quote that says, an unintentional life accepts everything and does nothing. An intentional life embraces only the things that will add to the mission of significance. He talks a lot about, finding, your mission and what it is that you need to be doing in life throughout this book. But what really struck me was when he says, an intentional life embraces only the things that will add to the mission of significance. And that could be the mission of significance in a particular area of life, on a particular project you're working on in life, on you and, as a whole. So I'll give you a quick example. So this podcast is like my baby, right? I feel like it's one of my kids at this point. So an intentional life with my podcast means that I'm only going to embrace things or opportunities that will add to the mission of significance of this podcast. Prime example, if someone wants to be on the show, yet they have a college degree, that doesn't embrace the significance of my show. So that means it would be unintentional for me to allow them to be on the show. So when I go after guests or when guests come, and ask, can they be on the show? I'm very intentional about making sure that they do not have a college degree. And once again, there's nothing wrong with people who have a college degree. I love people who have college degrees, but the particular mission and significance of this podcast is to highlight and to show that that's not needed to be successful. It's not needed to be an entrepreneur. It's not needed to make an impact on the world. So that's a prime example, one quick example of how that quote plays into what I have going on. So I guess what you guys could do, and it's something that I still do in whatever areas I have goals in, whether it's financial, whether it's with my health, I just make sure that everything I'm doing within that area is intentional to whatever the goal is I have. So right now, my goal is to lose 30 pounds by the end of the year. I think I've gotten about 10 off. I'm not sure. I'm not weighing myself to the end of June, but I'm very intentional with what I eat. I'm very intentional with what I drink. I'm very intentional with how late I'm eating, and I'm very conscious and aware of it because of the goal. Another goal I have is to save X amount of dollars by the end of the year. I'm very intentional with where I'm spending my money. I'm very intentional on what I'm spending per day. I'm budgeting more because of the significance of the goal. So if you want to start a business, be very intentional about the networking events you're going to. Are you going to networking events with people who have similar businesses? If you want to be a speaker per se, be very intentional about the type of speakers you listen to, or be very intentional about how you're using your time to work on your craft. That is why I always say at the end of the show, be impactful and be intentional. Because once again, An intentional life embraces only the things that will add to the mission of significance. An unintentional life accepts everything and does nothing. We don't want to live an unintentional life on the College Dropout podcast. We're already taking an unconventional route, so we need to be very, very intentional with what we do every day to make sure that we reach success on the path that we're on. And guys, that is all I have for you today. I will see you back here on Tuesday. I have a wonderful, wonderful interview with an amazing young man. And when I say young, I mean that he's only 21 and his birthday is actually on Tuesday, the day that the podcast drops. You do not want to miss it. Also, guys, today, I will have available very special limited edition College Dropout Podcast dad hats. When I say limited, I mean that once these are gone, they are gone. And I'm going to put it in an atmosphere that they will be gone after today. So this podcast drops at 12, which means that the hats are available right now. Get on your phone. Go to the collegedropoutpodcast.com. Hit the shop button and get yours. Because once these are gone, they are gone. And I'm going to be, quite frank. On a piece of history, because that's what's going to happen with the College Dropout podcast. So guys, have a great day. Make it an even better week. And once again, be impactful and be intentional.